It is the Connor and Marshall Show. Good morning. Beer for breakfast brought to you by Coach's Corner in Thunderbolt. Great shows this weekend. Voodoo Soup is tonight. Head Games, a tribute to Foreigner. Marshall, that's right up your alley.
Oh, I love Foreigner.
That is tomorrow night out at Coach's, or Beer for Breakfast. Joining us in studio from United Distributing, we've got Carly, craft beer and spirit specialist. Known you for a long time.
Long time.
First met years ago when Southbound was opening up. So you guys worked with them for a long time now. Mm-hmm. And how long you been with United? It's been a couple years?
A little over 2 years now. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what does the craft beer and spirit specialist, what does that mean? What are you doing? What do you specialize in?
Explain it like we're 5-year-olds, but just so you know, we're 5-year-olds. So
okay. So I've got a craft beer portfolio. We have a ton of local beers, obviously Southbound, New Realm, which is here in town now too. Sweetwater. Plus we've got some regional brands like Dogfish I brought today, Abita, and then spirits wise, I've got a bunch of local stuff that's awesome. I've got the Savannah Distilling products, Old Fourth in Atlanta, ASW, plus, I mean, just lots of cool smaller brands. And so really what I get to do is to go out and figure out what someone's needs are based on what type of concept they have for their bar or restaurant, and see if I can help them come up with beers and cocktails that'll match that concept.
So when it comes to that side, do you get to like suggest cocktails like, hey, you should do like a Paloma or a mojito or something like that?
Yeah. I do cocktail labs, which is one of my favorite things to do.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, explain that. What's a cocktail lab?
So what I'll do is I'll say, hey, let me see your food menu. Or if they don't have that set yet, what are you doing? Like, what's your flavor profiles that you've got going on? And then I'll come up with, maybe 15 cocktails that I think will be good and suggested spirits for that. Same thing with beers too, but for the cocktail lab. And then we'll go in there, I'll pull those spirits and we'll go in there and I'll get all the ingredients and we'll just sit down for a few hours and make them and taste them.
That sounds amazing.
So would you consider yourself like a really good mixologist at this point?
So I am a great researcher.
Right. You could Google really good.
Yeah. Imbibe is probably my best resource, I'll say.
Okay.
They have like online. I mean, you can go there and get recipes and ideas for everything, and then you just kind of tweak them. But really, a lot of the research that I'll do will go into the flavor profiles of, is it an Italian restaurant? Is it a Nepalese restaurant? Something like that. And then just kind of figure out how to work in that with those existing spirits.
Okay. So with all this research and getting to know the spirit side of things, do you have a go-to cocktail that just you personally like? That's my choice.
So one of my favorite ones is, I don't know if you guys have ever been to Whitaker's. It's above Co.
Okay.
It's kind of like a little speakeasy type of bar.
No.
Oh my God, it's amazing. It's so awesome. And so it's upstairs there. You can go through the restaurant co to get there, or there's like a little back alley you can go up to. But he does a play on a jungle bird, which is usually made with rum, and he does it with mezcal for me.
Okay.
And I love mezcal.
Okay.
Because I like smoky spirits. I like smoky scotches too.
Yeah.
And so he made that for me, and that's my desert island cocktail.
Okay.
It's so good.
Nice.
Yeah.
I tried to become a mezcal guy. It took a little while, but now I'm officially a mezcal guy. We have a bottle of I think it's Sombra at my house, which is just delightful, and there's not much left.
Have you ever heard of Pachuga before?
I haven't.
This blew my mind when I learned about it, and I just said that I don't eat the land or sky animals, but I felt like after learning about it, it would be a total disservice to not try it. So basically it's a mezcal, and it's done differently in every single village. And what they will do, Pachuga means breast. And so they will make the mezcal, and then they will hang raw meat, the breast of an animal. The one that I have in my portfolio is actually turkey breast, but it could be anything. It's whatever's indigenous to the area. They do it twice a year. After the harvest, so they'll throw whatever fruits and things are in there too.
Right.
But they let that fat drip down, kind of like a fat wash.
Okay.
Into the liquid, and then they distill it again. And so it just
interesting.
It's crazy.
Do they call it Boopkila? I feel like they should.
Pachuga.
Are they missing? I feel like it's a marketing opportunity they're not really looking into enough.
But it's super cool. Honestly,
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I mean, I had never heard of it either, but that was what I love about being able to do what I do right now. Is that I've gone down this, I did beer for so long, and I'm still doing beer. But I've just had this opportunity to learn about so many different things.
You fell into this alcoholic rabbit hole.
I did.
I think we all fell down a little bit into like pandemic because we all got bored and we were all sitting at home. Like,
you're your own professional mixologist at home.
Exactly.
Yeah?
And like we didn't have our regular person who made us our favorite drinks at our bar anymore. So we had to realize that we had to stop being, losers and do a little research and figure out how to make them ourselves. So that is awesome. I mean, yeah, we all became a little bit of a mixologist during the pandemic, but it sounds like you took it to a new level.
Yeah.
Technically, I will say that there are a lot of people out there who are incredible at making cocktails. And, Sydney Lance is one of those guys. I don't know if y'all know him.
Yep.
And he's got that shrub business going now, too. And that's so cool. But he is wonderful. And I can defer to him if I ever need any ideas or anything like that. But really, I know the spirits and the stories and everything behind that. And, I've been taking some classes and stuff for that. I got my CSS certification. So that's my Certified Spirits certification.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like the Cicerone for beer. So, it's been cool. I've really enjoyed it.
You've grown up to be such this wonderful, intelligent alcoholic.
Thank you.
I mean, just honestly, I may silent cry at any moment. I'm just so damn proud.
My parents are proud now.
So proud
when
of
I
you.
left Georgia Tech and I told them, hey, I think I'm going to stay in the beer industry, they were like, what?
We are talking to Carly from United. It is beer for breakfast, so we'll talk about what you've got for us to try today in a second. But what is new, exciting, fun on the beer side of things that you guys have right now?
So I brought the newest Orpheus beer, which is awesome. We're going to try that a second. It's sour season right now because it's so hot out. And so that's what I brought for you guys today was 2 of those. And that's really my favorite style of beer. My palate's kind of gone full circle. I mean, I still enjoy an IPA, but for me right now, I'm really into sours or really like clean, crisp lagers.
Absolutely.
Easy drinking stuff.
So what's in your fridge right now? And just a second question on that. How much beer do you steal from your job? Because I can only imagine.
It's research.
It's market research.
Yeah, you don't pay for beer. I mean, just because of the line of work you do. So what's in your fridge and how much would you say on a weekly basis, money-wise, do you steal from United Distributing?
Well, so I do have Seaquench in my fridge right now. I love that beer.
Yes.
I pretty much have it all the time. I know that that's like a big summer one for people, but for me, it's year round, New Realm, I've been able to get a lot of their new stuff. They got some cool one-offs. The Hazy Like an Ox I've got in there right now.
We just tried their pastry horse, I think, just the other day.
Pastry porter, yeah. But those are the 2 beers in there right now. We've got a lot of hot sauce taking up a lot of space at the moment.
Okay. Yeah.
During the pandemic, we joined the Hot Sauce of the Month Club.
We'll have to hook you up with a bottle of our new hot sauce.
Yeah, let's hear about that.
All right, so we're going to try some beer. We're going to do that next. Let's take a very short break. We got brand new Volbeat. Wait a minute, my girl. After that, we're going to dive into some beer. It is Beer for Breakfast, brought to you by Coach's Corner and Thunderbolt, Cotter and Marshall Show, Rock 106.1. Thank you for joining us this morning. It is Beer for Breakfast, brought to you by Coach's Corner in Thunderbolt. Don't miss Voodoo Soup tonight. Tomorrow night, it is Head Games, a tribute to Foreigner.
At this point, Foreigner is
a tribute band.
So it could be the real Foreigner band.
You never know.
Yeah.
You can get more information, also get tickets at coaches.net. Now, of course, joined in studio by Carly from United for Beer for Breakfast. So you brought some beverages in for us to try.
I did.
So what do we got first?
So this is Dogfish Seaquench Ale. So Dogfish is from Delaware, and this is a session sour, but really it's a combination of 3 different beers that they brew in sequence. So they make a Kolsch, and then they make a Goza, and then they make a Berliner Weiss, and they throw those all into the same fermentation tank.
Okay.
Brewing them separately like that really lets the ingredients kind of sing. But the cool thing about it is it took them 2 years to come up with this, and they worked with the guy who's the head of the Gatorade Institute. Yeah.
The dude who made Gatorade, like the original scientist dude.
It's
this
like
is like
Gatorade
literally quenching
Science
my
Institute.
thirst.
It is. And so they worked with him. The idea came, I guess, that Sam, the guy who owns Dogfish, was down at a NASCAR race and he saw them. I guess they have liquid tubes that are they're feeding to the drivers so they stay hydrated. He was like, I want to do something with that. And so he reached out to those guys and they were trying to figure out how to make a drink that would actually hydrate you as well.
Wait, so this beer hydrates me?
Yeah, it's hydrating you while it's dehydrating you. Science.
So it's not dehydrating me at all. It's keeping me
neutral,
wet.
right? Yeah,
right where you need to be. Right where you need to be. All right. Well, I ain't gonna lie. I love this beer.
So good.
This
is
has been one of Dogfish Head's like best sellers ever since they released it. And I think it's been out for what, 4
years?
Yeah, at this point. I remember the first time I had it was at Grayson Stadium.
Yeah.
During a game one day, I was out there, and I think this was just the beer. I'm like, I think that was the first time I ever tried it. So
yeah,
let's go ahead and just start the review here. Once again, we're trying Dogfish Head Seaquench Ale. It's a session sour. You're from Delaware, or is that just where your family lives?
My family. Yeah.
Oh, okay, because
my mom's side.
All right, so you're going to go to Dogfish Head. Do you have the clout where you can walk in and be like, I'll have free beer today? Do you have that clout?
I mean, I could always call them and say, hey, I'm coming up here. I sell some of your beer, but I'm not gonna.
You should, though.
No, I want to support them for sure. I mean, it's such a cool place, and you know, I respect what they do. I mean, as a brewery, they're not scared to try anything new, you know. And what they did with this is, you know, the salt that they used in here is salt from, Maine, and then they worked with the National Aquarium as well to figure out the salts from the Chesapeake Bay area. Okay. Because Sam is from Maine, but his wife is from the Chesapeake Bay area.
Okay.
And so they wanted to kind of put that all together in this. And so that's where the salt came from. And then they have black limes in there, which are like a Middle Eastern specialty where they'll actually boil limes in salt water until all the water's gone. Yeah, even in the water and the limes.
Interesting.
And then that goes into the Goza. And then the Berliner Weiss actually has lime juice in it as well. So they combine all three of those together.
This is the most complex beer I think we may have ever drank.
Right?
I never knew.
I'm so intimidated now, and I've had it before.
All right, let's go ahead and start the review. Let's take a big old sniff of this thing.
I mean, you get the lime, you get the salt. I mean, it's everything you'd want, you know, from the Gosa side of the beer. It smells so good. And refreshing. Now I know it's refreshing.
Yeah, and you actually just hydrated yourself just by sniffing.
I know, right? That's science.
I don't know. I don't know if that's true actually.
It's definitely a nice straw color. Little, I mean, it's not overly clear unless that's just my glass. A little haze to it. Decent amount of carbonation. It looks good, man.
Yeah, holding up to the light, this thing is that beautiful golden color, kind of a ale-ish color, but yeah, it is a bit hazy when you're holding it up to the camera and the glass here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with all that being said,
we're just gonna drink.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. So good.
Man, it's what I want in a sour beer. I mean, it's not making me pucker.
Right.
You know, it's not to the point where it's just too much. It hits a perfect mark. The saltiness to it adds so much. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think if there's a sour that I've had that I like better. This could just be my favorite sour.
Yeah, it's difficult to even kind of put this in a category because once again, you said it's 3 different types of beers. And they did such a great job of blending it. And it's, like I said, it's the first time I tried it. I actually love this beer. And I'm not a sour guy in general.
It's approachable.
When it comes to these things. So this beer, it's like, I know it sounds weird. It's like drinking the beach.
It is. It's the beach in a glass, for sure.
100%. It's like drinking the beach. The saltiness in the air is what you're tasting in the glass, but also kind of that, I don't know, that tropical feel. Yeah. That citrusy kind of essence that you'd want when you're going to the beach. You see the palm trees, all that crazy stuff. It's kind of all that in a glass right there. So on the beer scale of supremacy, let's go ahead and review this one, Cotter. On the beer scale of supremacy, what do you give this today?
I'm going to go 4.25. I mean, it's just a fantastic beer. Like I said, this or the Coco Pina from Coastal, probably my 2 favorite sours. That's the only other one that I can think of that I'd put up there. This beer is delicious. If you love sours, you're going to love it. If you don't love sours, I mean, I would try this beer because it is so different. It's so complex. I I mean, I think it's something that you're going to like, whether it's not your style of beer or not.
I got a feeling we're not going to get an M. Night Shyamalan type twist here from Carly. It'd be awesome. She was like 0. What? You acted like you loved it so much. All right, so on the beer scale of supremacy, Carly, what would you give? Dogfish Head Seaquench Ale coming in at 4.9% alcohol.
I would say probably maybe 4.5.
Okay.
Yeah. And you could actually use this and make a really cool like margarita with it.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Is that like the type of thing where you stick like the can in the giant margarita glass type of thing? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
That's what I
Replace
was.
some of your sour mix with it when you're doing it.
That's a great idea. I like that.
See, mixologist right here.
Right.
She's grown up so much. Yeah, on the beer scale of supremacy, I mean, once again, not a huge sour guy when it comes to this stuff, but man, this one hits home in so many ways. I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 3.9.
Okay, very good. All right, we got one more beer to try from Orpheus, right?
Yeah, the new
great
one.
brewery. I'm excited about that. It's coming up next. Beer for Breakfast with Carly, brought to you by Coach's Corner in Thunderbolt, Rock 106.1. Thank you for hanging out. Beer for Breakfast, brought to you by Coach's Corner in Thunderbolt. Great live music tonight in the Sound Garden. Voodoo Soup, Head Games, a tribute to Foreigner tomorrow. All right, Beer for Breakfast. Carly from United is in studio, the craft beer and spirit specialist. Had some Seaquench, which is one of my favorite sours. And now we got something from Orpheus. Now, Orpheus to me is an interesting brewery because they just seem to really do unique and different things. And it's almost like we could do that, but we could do something a little bit different. So let's go this way.
Take a twist.
Yeah, they always seem to be doing something. It's like they're ahead of this curve that nobody's even on yet sometimes with the beers they do. So what do we got from Orpheus today?
So this is the brand new one that they just released. It's very limited. We only got, I think, maybe 20 cases of it down here.
Okay.
And a handful of kegs. So Shadows and Whispers, and it is also a sour. It's their Berliner Weiss, but this one's higher alcohol content. The Seaquench was only about 4.9%. This one is 7.1.
I like that.
Okay.
So kick it up a little bit there. And this one has vanilla and lime in it as well.
This thing sounds awesome. Yeah, once again, coming in at 7% alcohol. This is the second beer that we like to drink almost on every Friday because this will get us drunk enough to forget the rest of the show and just leave early.
Yeah. We have to finish? We don't have to finish, do we?
The show or
the beer, yes.
Oh,
the show,
yes.
no.
Okay,
fair enough.
Yeah, sure. Okay. All right, well, let's go ahead and start the review. Once again, trying Orpheus Brewing, their limited release of Whispers and Shadows, lime, lemon, and vanilla Berliner Weiss. Is that how I
Berliner Weiss.
Yeah, you say it better than I do. Once again, coming in at 7%.
The W usually comes out as a V when you say it. Weiss.
Weiss. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
9. Okay. Close? Is that okay?
No.
But it's got Meyer lemon in there too. I forgot about that one actually, but
Nice.
yeah,
All right,
so
let's
nice and citrusy.
take a big old smell of this.
Yep, I agree. Very citrusy. It's really nice. I mean,
You get a nice touch of the sweetness of the vanilla on the back end of that as well. I mean, a lot of the citrusy of that, but you get some vanilla too.
you know what you're getting into just with the nose on that.
Oh,
I love
yeah.
that.
Once again, holding it up to the light, we're holding it up to the camera if you're watching the live stream today. Much more hazy than the
Yes.
Seaquench today, but definitely a hazier kind of light yellowish color with, I can't quite tell if there's much carbonation, but it does look like there's some carbonation running through that.
All right.
Yeah, lower carbonation for sure. More sour too. You know, you're salivating a little bit more.
Okay.
I think that was just from my first beer I drank, or the anticipation of drinking this one.
All right.
Cheers, guys. Ooh, that one makes you pucker a little bit more.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely more on the sour side, which I don't hate at all by any means. The addition of, it's like, to me, it's like there's several elements you can put in almost any beer and I'm going to like it. Coconut is one of them, and vanilla seems to be an ingredient they're using a lot more in a lot of different styles, and it works really well with this.
Vanilla is so good at taming down certain flavors, 100%. So like the vanilla smooths over the very harshness of the Meyer lime and lemon and everything in this. That's why it makes this much more palatable. Without it, this thing would like your face would suck into your head a little bit. So let's go ahead and review this one. Orpheus Brewing's Whispers and Shadows, lime, Meyer lemon, vanilla, Berliner Weiss. Cotter, what do you give this on the beer scale of supremacy?
I mean, it's such a different kind of experience than from the Seaquench, even though, you've got some similar elements to it. But it is really good with the lemon and the lime. And I agree, the vanilla kind of balances out. But it's I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 3.8. 3.8. 3.8. As I drink it, maybe that will change. But 3.8 is what I'm going to go with this. Once again, man, it's like, this is really good. I really like kind of how Orpheus does just different things. They're willing to try something new, and I like that.
Yeah, and well, just say weird. I'll say it.
No,
Orpheus is very weird, and I actually kind of enjoy that because a lot of breweries are so stuck on, let's make profit. Let's make whatever version of Bud Light so we can sell as much as possible. Orpheus has never been that way. Like every time I walk in Orpheus,
I'm sure they want to make money.
Well, yeah, money's pretty important when you're a brewery. But like they do weird stouts and weird sours and just weird everything. I wouldn't say anything they do is normal.
One of the weirdest beers I've ever had came from Orpheus, Minotaur, the coffee sour.
Yeah.
And it's one of those where like I gotta try it because I'm so utterly curious as to what this tastes like. And you taste it, you're like, how does that work? How do I like this beer right now? Because it sounded so different. But anyway, I'm sorry. Digressing completely.
Yes. So, Carly, on to you. Beer scale supremacy. What would you give Orpheus Brewing's Whispers and Shadows?
So I'm going to give this one a 4.2.
Okay.
And that is simply because I like it a lot. I do. But I don't know if I could pound a 6-pack of these like I could this guy on the beach, but I enjoy it for sure. It's just a little bit more sour for me.
Yeah.
But I think if you were eating food with it, it would be perfect.
Carly's thinking long game here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's kind of her deal. She has to sell alcohol and spirits all the time. No, I agree with you 100%. It's got much more of a sour feel than the Seaquench.
Yes.
Seaquench, once again, great beach beer. It's beach in a can. This one's slightly different. Yeah, you got more of that sour, but you got the vanilla in there, which tames out that sour just a little bit, and you got the bitterness, but also the tanginess of both that lime and Meyer lemon. I'm gonna go ahead and give this one probably higher than you expect, especially when it comes to sours. Not a sour guy. 3.85.
Okay.
3.85. I mean, it's right up there. Once again, not a sour guy, but both these beers I like quite a bit.
All right, Carly, thank you so much for stopping by. It
Absolutely.
is always good to see you. It's always good to hang out. Thank you for the great beers. I'm going to just sit here and enjoy and maybe do the rest of the show.
Yeah, just yug the rest of that beer, and then I'll talk about Marshall's music.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. That's coming up next. Stick around. Here's Beck and Loser, Rock 106.1. Hey guys, it's Connor and Marshall from Rock 106.1. Thank you so much for watching our stupidity online.
Daily. We appreciate it. So make sure that you like and comment and subscribe. It's down there somewhere. We're not exactly for sure. We do appreciate it. And of course, more content always coming soon.